Hi guys. So I have been watching The Chosen, the Christian show that kind of goes into the background, like develops story to the background of the disciples and what happened in their lives, and then Jesus' story and all that. And I've really enjoyed it since I started watching it some years back. And then they've been doing a live stream of the episodes of season 4, which they released in theaters last year. Was it last year? Yeah. So now, the last one that we just watched on Sunday was that of, excuse me, the one we just watched on Sunday was that of the situation where one of the followers of Jesus died. And then Thomas was like, do something. And then Jesus said something very interesting, like Jesus in the show. Said something very interesting. He said, it is not yet her time or something. So I'm like, what does it mean by it's not yet her time? She had died, maybe it's time for her to go to heaven, or it's not yet time for him to resurrect her. But that's not what I'm trying to talk about. What I'm trying to talk about, and I get the anger, I think a lot of people have said that Jesus was there, Jesus would have done something. But I think we need to be realistic about our Christianity. We need to be realistic about what's happening in our lives. And we need to be realistic and know that people pray and they still die. People pray and they don't get healed. It does not mean that they're not Christian enough. It does not mean that Jesus is not with them, because he said these things would happen to you, but I'll be there with you. That's the difference with us and every other person. And then when we're talking about even when we're mourning, we don't mourn like people who don't have understanding. We mourn, even in our pain, we still know that there's a hope for us. And that's the difference between us. And even when bad things are happening to us, we know that Jesus is still here with us. Jesus is still here with us. Things are happening. He's still there. He's going to hold our hands through it. And when it is time and he feels this is the right thing to do, he will do it for us, right? Again, while we're praying, it's always good to have at the back of our minds that there's a supremacy of God, is the sovereignty of God, because the bigger picture is God's bigger picture. I'm not in this world of my own. The day God feels like Jamila is done, I'm going to go. And that's why sometimes you will say, oh, it was a miracle. Yes, because God would not allow certain things to happen. And it's not necessarily just us saying, because I have faith. There are a lot of people who have had faith and they still died, right? It's not for you to start quantifying what faith means or what their faith looks like. I remember when I lost my mom and somebody said I didn't pray enough. And I'm like, I didn't pray enough? Are you kidding me? There are people who don't even pray and God still saves. Are you kidding me? I've not prayed enough, you know? And that's why it's going to be hard for those people who believe that because you're in Christ, everything automatically becomes fine for you. And I think that's some kind of theology that is not good, that is harmful. And when we see bad things happening to Christians, we now think it is not normal. No, it is. Look at how all the disciples died. Or most of them died. Like the most heart-wrenching kind of death, you know. But these were people who were with Jesus, like literally with Jesus, and these things happened to them. Okay, even Jesus, didn't Jesus come and say, God, this, oh Father, this thing, if this cup can pass, let it pass, but your will, not my will. And I wish we could all get to that point and say, Father, if this, I would want you to change this situation, but if it is your will and this is what you want to happen, then it is your will. So in people getting angry and saying, oh, they shouldn't have done it that way. But the truth is, that's the reality of people's lives. That's the reality of Christians. Christians die. Christians have issues that should not happen to them, in quote, but they happen. But the thing is, in the midst of it, we're still giving thanks to God. In the midst of it, we know that God has us covered, and he will show up when he wants to show up, when he needs to show up for us. And sometimes he allows these things to go to the extremes. And when you see him show up, you know that's God. You know that there's no human being that has gotten you to this place. So guys, just to encourage you and encourage your faith, that don't let the bad things happening around you or happening to you define your Christianity. I'm not saying don't pray. Please have faith. I have faith for so many things. But one thing I know, at the end of the day, I want God's will to be done. Simple. I would cry if it hurts me, but I want God's will to be done. All right, guys, until I see you people next time, have a beautiful, beautiful week.